Hey designers, it's Jeremy here. In this video, I want to create a clothing brand label from scratch, all done in Illustrator. So first up, I wanted to give myself a brief, and I love seeing urban design and urban clothing labels because it's fun, it's playful, it's electric, it's fresh, and I wanted to have fun and play around with it. So let's just dive in here. I've got the brief sort of here, just kept it really simple. So in this one, what we want to do is create a brand identity for a streetwear brand called Mighty Clothing. Originally, I had it as Mighty Collective, and it was a brief as part of one of my Skillshare classes, but I just wanted to simplify it and just call it Mighty Clothing. The profile basically is male or female, young vibe, so 15 to 28-year-olds, students, artists, sort of youth, people in that space. Low to medium income earners, and they are singles, not couples or married or whatever, because it's aimed at young people, right? The attributes are courage, strength, passion, and authenticity. So we're gonna go for a bold look, creative look, and just explore typography and play around. Then also what I'm gonna create is, I'm aiming to create a logo design, t-shirts, some mock-ups with like hoodies and stuff, then probably some Instagram profile designs and play around with that. And then maybe a landing page, you'll see how much time we got. But yeah, that's the brief, and let's jump right into it. So I'm just gonna lock my background layers. So first up, I got a mood board. So what I did is I went on Behance, I went on Pinterest as well. So I love scanning. I typed in clothing label, and I just started looking through different brands and seeing what type of vibe I was aiming for. I really wanted to have that bold look with typography, and I like things that are like dark and just like interesting. So I looked around on that. I also went to Pinterest and I was typing up things like clothing label and like exploration with typography and stuff like that. So you can see I found a whole bunch of images, even like this Nike image here, which is really cool. So I came up with this mood board, very eccentric, nice typography, very playful, bold logos. I like these bold colors that are used over here, as you can see, playing around with some patterns and some texture there, as you can see in the background. I think that's really dope. I like sort of typically keeping this simple, as you can see here with this like sort of ad with the image and sticky tape there. That's cool. And then playing around with the like this layout, like that's on, you know, when you think of a clothing label, you've got to have the inner print that shows the you know, all those little fine details, how to wash it, etc. So I like the arrows and the lines and stuff. And then the bold typography here on the left, I think that's really cool. I also found this image, I thought this was really interesting. It was for like a B-spec Nike thing, and I just like these lockups with these shapes and these numbers and shapes and lines. I think that's really cool. Maybe I can use that somehow. So that's the mood board that I'm going for. So we're gonna start off with the logo, right? And then over here, I just wrote down a bit of copywriting and playing around with some different lines we could use as a tagline or a slogan or something. So I thought this was interesting. First off, I want to start off with the typeface. So I'm just going to type out Mighty, right? And for the clothing, I might have it as a secondary element, not necessarily a main element, because I can just typically use the main logo and the main name as the logo. So I'll start to play around with some typography. So this font is TT Norms. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift and drag that. And I'm going to bring my type character so you guys can see that. And I'm just going to play around. What I love to use is the filter. So I'll click filter and I'll click sans serif because I want like bold fonts. And I'll start playing around with some fonts. I've got uniform. Let's play around. And typically this is what I like to do when I'm like selecting the core font, because the font really speaks to the personality, right? If you pick the right one, it can have that impact. So my camera battery did die, so I'm just gonna keep going with the recording. But anyway, so I'm gonna go through these fonts. So right away, I think, I don't know what happened to that one, but I think these ones I'm gonna delete that. Kind of like this one. This font is a bit too round, so it's not giving the vibe I want. So the process of elimination, I do like this font. This is really cool. It's very nice, bold. Got a bit of elegance to it. I like these other fonts as well. This one I don't like. This one, the G, I'm not really liking that. And let's see. So I try and look for interesting characters with the letters, just to make it interesting. So I start to look at the G. You can see there's different like characteristics. Makes it look interesting. I think I'm going to delete these ones. And let's see which one. If it was a live stream, I could ask you guys which ones you're feeling. But let's see. So I'm gonna go with Work Sans. Beautiful. So this is our font. And I'm just gonna leave it there by itself. And now I want to start to customize. I'm gonna press Control Shift H just to get rid of the artboards and start to like play around. So I'm gonna play around. I'm gonna check how it looks like. So type change case, center case. So let's see how it looks like in lowercase. It's a very nice font in lowercase too. So that's pretty nice. But I think uppercase will probably have that bolder feel to it. So I'm just gonna see what we can do. Tighten up the kerning a little bit. So what if we play around with this? If I had like 2. That looks interesting, that looks cool. You can see this G has the potential to have like an arrow. So I cut the type and I'm just gonna play around with this. So now we've got sort of this arrow here, as you can see there. Hopefully, let me just change my color. So you've got this arrow there. So like that could be interesting, right? Can even have the potential to like cut that G, right? So I sort of like that vibe there with the little, maybe if I minimize it, what it will look like. Yeah, I think that's pretty dope. If I go all the way, yeah, I think maybe it's good to have like a little bit of connection there. I think that's really cool. Adds a bit of flavor to the overall vibe to it. So I'm just gonna play around with the other letters. Like, what if I want to extend that? Yeah, connect it, but then does it lose its legibility there with the T? Maybe I can make it a bit spacier. Let's try and pull this shape. And I'm just gonna straighten up the anchor to make it straight. And what if I like start making other little cuts in the text? See how that like feels. I could do it on the M even. What about that one? That one's like pretty dope. Yeah, what if we just cut this I? And then I'm zooming in and just, it's a bit too much, so I'll pull it up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if the H, I don't know if it looks good on the H. It's not adding that much as what I thought it would. It's all about experimentation. That's what I love about playing around with design. That's cool. Maybe what if I want to do it on the Y or something? It's all about experimenting. So let's duplicate this. I think I'll delete this white thing. Might just cut off. What I do is the shape builder tool. Bam, and I can just cut that off. So we've got Mighty there. I think what if we like made that like that or something. Actually, I think what if we can actually make it a bit thicker? So we'll do 2 points up. Yeah, make it a bit thicker. I think that's cool. That's cool. This M here, you can always play around with the M. So maybe if I want to like bring it up or something, maybe I want to delete this. Press Ctrl J to join things. Maybe I want to make that thicker. Like, yeah, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. I'm liking this. So what if we didn't want those bars? I can just like cut it off, and then let's type in clothing. Let's use the same font work sans. And what I like to do is let's just turn the filters off there. Make sure you turn the filters off. Let's start exploring this. I think all caps will look a bit better. So like changing to uppercase. All right, clothing label. I can just type clothing. Or what if I call it clothing collective? No, I think I'll just leave it like this. It's good to always have like that contrast. Maybe tighten that up a little bit. I'll go back to, what about light? Light's a bit too much. I think regular or medium usually works. So whenever you're playing around, you always want to have like secondary variations of the lockup. So I can have it like this. You can have it multiple ways. You can center it, have it small. You can chuck like a line. So maybe for this one, I want to have the thick line here. Maybe make it a bit beefier. And then I'm aligning it to the text there. I'm gonna have to like adjust this by eye. So optically I'm seeing, is it working or not? Bring that tighter. Like that looks pretty cool. Could maybe bring this out a bit. So within a short minutes, we've already created like a few different variations just from one font. And then we start playing around with ideas, right? So we've got the sort of the arrow there, forward moving, forward thinking, some slashes for edginess, boldness, for that passion. It feels authentic. We're not coming up with a crazy icon or anything, but I feel like it looks pretty dope. Overall, I do like this lock up here. I don't know if I want these like shapes, these ball outlines, but I definitely like how the mighty is sitting like that. So I do like these colors here. I like the playfulness. We could use these colors or we could go for something else. I do like the orange and I do like the green. So I like using the color guide, so we can use some of these harmony rules. So you've got, you know, monochromatic, we've got analogous, complementary, split. So I can like play around different colors. What if I want like neon blue or something as well? Maybe I want more of a like a peachy color. I can flip it, good color, and then like play around with this. So maybe like I want like a peachy red. So it's not exactly like the orange, but you can see there. And then maybe I'll shift this to more of like maybe a purpley blue. Yeah, I think those are pretty strong. Let's see what about with the red and this color. I think maybe let's go a bit more yellowish. Like even that could work as well. So we've got these two palettes. So you can see it's very different, the colors here. Hopefully you can see that. But yeah, let's go back to the brief. So passion, courage, authenticity, strength, passion. I feel like I think this one, the yellow and the red. So let's stick with that. I'm gonna add this into my swatches panel, click the little folder, and then boom, press enter, and now you've got that, which is really dope. So I want to test it out, see what it looks like this. So you can see the contrast is fine, it's still readable. Cool. All right, now let's start playing around and creating some like little assets and shapes and all that cool stuff. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make some Instagram size posts. And I'm finally happy with the design. So you can see, did the Instagram story post, just kept this one really simple. And you can see I did the mock-ups there, loving what I did here, adding some type, just playing around with, you know, shapes and lines and just the different variations of the logo as well. And just adding some text in there to give it some life, and just, you know, playing around with some of these mock-ups that I created. As you can see, I probably could have spent time customizing the tag, but I just left it. And then you can hear the brand. I really was going for that, you know, passion, the strength vibe, really. You know, it's sort of like a male, it's got that male masculine tone to it. I love the reds, popping colors. That's really what I wanted. And then just really make it typographic and bold, with some, you know, icons and shapes and just the typography. Playing around with some designs here. Just really experimenting and seeing how the mock-ups turned out. But overall, the mock-ups turned out really, really cool. And you can see he's just playing around with some imagery and really seeing how that logo works together with the whole brand. And it actually turned out really nice. You can see some label design here. So this is how the final brand turned out. Few shots, few mock-ups that I created, and it really looking really dope. I'm feeling the vibes, and yeah, I think it's really cool. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, this tutorial. Let me know if you want me to do more videos like this where I create a brand identity from scratch. We're going to be exploring different, you know, brands and just having fun with it, experimenting, getting ideas, getting inspiration, getting the creative flow going. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more like this. Drop a like and hit the subscribe button to get more graphic design tutorials and branding tips every week. Hope you guys have a solid day. I'll chat to you next time.